Chapter 23. Keep your face always toward the sunshine, and shadows will fall behind you. Honey began to cry. Ruby sat next to her and put her arm around her. Eudora snuffled her snout into Honey's lap. Melba fanned Finesse with her clipboard. Clebo mopped at his face with his shirt sleeve, and House took center stage. Now that they all knew, he was not about to let this moment get away from him. He shoved his note into his pocket and drew himself up to his full height. Mr. Norwood Boyd was a friend of my family, and Clebo is right. I went over to his house every day after my arm was broken. Clebo nodded at everyone and puffed out his chest, as if he were being proven right by House, but House ignored him, and so did everyone else. I was asked to do it, and I was scared. I knew all those stories, but it wasn't like that. House scratched the side of his face, trying to buy time. He was short of breath. His heart felt like it had swelled into his throat. Clebo's chest deflated, and he shrank. He grew smaller by the minute. He never ate anybody, continued House. He liked being alone. He was sick. He wanted to hear the stories he had read when he was a boy, so I read them to him. Treasure Island was the one we were reading when he died. House's heart had swollen so much he couldn't take in a breath, so he held up a hand and stopped to catch his breath. It took a full minute. No one, not even Clebo, moved. When he could catch his breath, House said in a quiet voice, "If there was a treasure, it was his friends. Mr. Norwood had friends." House bit his lower lip and finished his thought. I was one of them. In the moment he spoke the words, House knew that Pip had been right. House had loved Mr. Norwood Boyd. He had loved a man he had hardly known, but somehow he had known him well. It was the oddest thing. Melba was holding her pencil so tightly she broke it. The noise popped the air and broke the spell. Ruby blinked and whipped her hair out of her eyes. Finesse held her handkerchief to her mouth. For once her tears seemed real. Clebo kicked at a rock, and kids began to breathe again. Honey sniffed. House turned to Finesse. Mr. Norwood Boyd loved baseball. Used to be not every boy in this county could play baseball. Ask your great-granddaddy about it, and put that in your history of Aurora County, your American history, Francis. He was done. All those words.